You correctly point out the seasonal flu is much more prevalent and causes a lot more deaths than COVID-19 maybe ever will. In the U.S. Last year, I think that 34,000 Americans died from the seasonal flu alone. It's a massive number. But we get a lot of media attention on the COVID-19. I think mainly because it's so new. People tend to have a lot more fear on things that we just don't understand. And I think that's what's fueling this kind of frenzy and fear. And I think we have to just take a step back and look everything in perspective and say, yes, practice good hand hygiene, good public health, sanitation practices, disinfectants and things like that. It will end at some point. Yes, it is scary because it's so new, but we will get over this. If you look at all the pandemics, eventually they get contained and isolated. And the new numbers start to come down. And it looks like even in China, within the Hubei province, the number of new cases are starting to plateau, which is a good sign. SARS in 2003 was over probably in a matter of months. I can't tell you what's going to happen with COVID-19, but if you look at the parameters, its contagiousness and its case fatality rate, why wouldn't it stop in a matter of a few months like all the other epidemics? This is not quite a pandemic because it's been controlled to a region, but like these epidemics have all come to an end over some time. I would have to concur with Dr. Tedros, the Director General of the WHO, in his assessment of China's response to COVID-19, which is very positive. China has mobilized their entire country and tried to control this to the best of their abilities. I don't quite understand the criticism. I think any country could be criticized for not doing enough. Chinese government has mounted an all-out campaign to try to contain the virus and at least trying to prevent it from leaving the epicenter, right? Which I think is very responsible and at a very high cost to the people within the Hubei region and also the Chinese government. They've shared the genetic sequencing right away. I think, and then they built these 2 hospitals, right? Within a week or 10 days? That's incredible. My heart goes out for the people that are still having to stay within the province and the city of Wuhan itself. I think it's time for us to try to help them and understand, try to empathize. And this kind of viral outbreak and threat should really bring people together. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. This is human nature when fear starts to take over. And once again, I think it's important to see these COVID-19 in perspective and not let the news and these kinds of fear-mongering type of reports take over. And let's focus on showing news of cooperation, solidarity, right? The media needs to do a better job of showing how we need to come together and focus on the positive aspects of how we're all coming together to fight this common enemy. And then really, hopefully that will minimize the fear that feeds this kind of racism.